You are listening to Becoming Wildly Resilient, brought to you by University of Kentucky Human Resources Health and Wellness. Together, we will discover how we can thrive at work, home, and beyond. Hello, everyone. I'm Amy Rodquist-Kodet, health coach with the University of Kentucky Health and Wellness program. Welcome to Becoming Wildly Resilient Practices, where we explore research-based tools and tips that help us thrive more in the areas of life that matter most. This month, we are talking about bridging differences. It is definitely election season. At the time of this podcast recording, we are 20 days out from the U.S. general election, and stress is through the roof for many people on both sides of the aisle. Recent surveys, including the Pew Research Center, have found the ideological differences dividing Americans are greater than ever. At home, at work, in places of worship, in schools, and in our social circles, we are all feeling the tension. The resulting hostility of distrust is undermining our emotional well-being, the quality of our relationships, and even the integrity of some of our democratic institutions. In my research for this episode, I found an incredible resource from UC Berkeley called the Bridging Differences Playbook that we will make available in our show notes. This playbook identifies core skills and strategies that support positive dialogue, healthy relationships, and understanding between groups and individuals who think about things differently. On some of the first pages of the playbook, the authors get clear on terms and definitions I thought could be helpful for this episode. Perhaps most importantly, bridging differences is not persuasion or trying to convince the other person of your viewpoint. Instead, it's about trying to understand. Bridging differences recognizes a common humanity. You're not always going to find common ground. And a lot of times, you can't find the compromise either. But the key is we don't dehumanize each other in the process. This practice requires modesty and cultural humility by accepting we don't all have the answers or the monopoly on truth. What I found most compelling is the research on the benefits of bridge building and how it helps to counteract the trends of polarization. Suggesting bridging differences can improve our health and relationships. It reduces violence. It's good for the bottom line of our organizations, and it supports diversity. If you're interested in less polarization and more connection across differences, I've got a couple practices to suggest this month. The first one I've already mentioned. Check out UC Berkeley's Bridging Differences Playbook. It is full of resources, research, and practical ideas to connect with others in meaningful ways, specifically to connect with people who see the world differently than you do. And secondly, take the Bridging Differences quiz, which you can find in our show notes as well. Developed by Dr. Jason Tevin and his colleagues, this quiz is based on several scientifically validated scales. Essentially, the quiz attempts to help you answer these questions. Number 1, how open are you to connecting with different kinds of people? Number 2, how skilled are you at expanding your social circle beyond people who seem most like you? And number 3, how comfortable are you with disagreement with people whose views differ from your own? As humans, we have a deeply rooted tendency to organize ourselves into groups. You're either one of us or part of them. But research suggests Those categories are not fixed. We can expand our sense of us and them in a new light, and therefore decrease polarization. Studies suggest it is possible to expand our categories of us and them, and doing so will enrich our lives and our communities. I took the quiz, and I'm not entirely sure what this means, but my bridging differences score is 54 out of 65. It said I have a diverse social network and a high tolerance for differences of opinion. My husband may feel differently, but many of the questions made me stop and think and evaluate before I answered, because I was committed to answering each question as honestly as possible. When you're done, you'll get a score and find more specific resources for cultivating your bridging skills. If you're feeling like you could use more tools in your toolbox for dealing with the polarization that is all around us, take the quiz, gobble up the resources, and go easy, because these days are tricky. But real connection and bridge building is possible. So thanks for joining me today and practicing together, because practice makes possible, and that's how we become more wildly resilient. Until next time, keep practicing. Thank you for listening to Becoming Wildly Resilient. This podcast is brought to you by University of Kentucky Human Resources Health and Wellness. We offer a wide range of online and in-person services to support the well-being of UK employees, retirees, and their spouses. You can find experts in mental health, personal resilience, nutrition, and physical activity. We're ready to meet you where you are and address your unique needs. To learn more about the work-life and well-being services offered by UK Human Resources, visit hr.uky.edu/wellbeing. You can also connect with us on social media and YouTube by searching @UKY Wellness or by email at healthandwellness@uky.edu.